And reaction now from British journalist and broadcaster Neil Clark. Mr. Clark, welcome to RT. Great to see you. How likely is Damascus to comply with the Russian initiative? Does the Syrian government have any alternatives there?
Well, I think it's a very good move from Syria and Russia, isn't it? But I think we've got to be very careful here, because we've got to remember that Libya gave up its chemical weapons in 2004. And we all know what happened to Libya. Iraq gave up its WMDs, and we all know what happened to Iraq. By contrast, North Korea didn't disarm, hasn't surrendered a single weapon, and North Korea is still standing. So I think if Syria were to surrender its chemical weapons, I think it needs to get a firm guarantee from Russia that if there was an attack by America, then they would come to their defence, because I think we need to deter the US attack here.
But still, Obama's made it clear the plans for a military strike are still in full force. Is the Russian initiative likely to stall them for long? What do you think?
Well, I think the Washington elite is very divided. I think Obama is very hesitant, but of course we've got the fanatical neocon lobby, the people like John McCain. And we all know that this chemical weapons issue, Yulia, was all a pretext. It was a pretext. I mean, you know, the US wants regime change in Syria, and that was just the first pretext that came along this month. And there'll be another one coming along. So even if Syria does surrender its weapons, then the danger's not over yet for Syria, because I'm sure that Washington will come along in a few months' time or even weeks' time and say, look, there's been another so-called atrocity carried out by the President Assad's government. And then we'll be back to square one again. So I think the only thing that can stop the bullying of Syria really is, as I say, is defence pact with Russia, perhaps bringing in Iran, China too, to deter aggression. I think that's the only thing that will stop this threat of war really.
But still, the US public, as well as a lion's share of lawmakers, are still against that intervention. Is that enough to deter an attack order at the White House?
Everyone's against this war, everyone across the world, except a tiny group of neocon fanatics. These people are the people trying to push President Obama to war with Syria. They're desperate for regime change against Damascus, because they want to target Iran and topple the Iranian regime. And these people are absolutely fanatics. And no matter what Syria does, these people will still be targeting Syria. And yet, you know, things have changed. There's been a sort of global awakening as to the neocon agenda. People have woken up after war, after war, after war. People across the world are finally saying no, no more war. And the elites in Washington have got this problem. They would love to bring about regime change in Damascus. They really want that. The only thing that's going to bring that about is war, but the public are 70–80% against war. So they've got this big problem now, the elites all across the Western world, really.
Right. What kind of action can we expect the Syrian rebels to take in the meantime?
Well, I think there's a real danger of a false flag operation against Israel now. I think there's a real danger that it's clearly that the latest chemical weapons attack hasn't done the trick really as far as the warmongers are concerned. Nobody's really bought it. Obama's not going to get his war at the moment as things stand. So I think there's a real danger, Yulia, that there will be some kind of false flag attack. There will be some attack on Israel that will be blamed on Hezbollah or Assad. And that would try to get Congress then. If that happened, that would be a game changer, because, you know, you'd have Obama coming out saying our strongest ally Israel's been attacked. We've got to do something now. And that could change Congress's opinion, which at the moment looks as if they're going to oppose war. So I think we've got to be on the alert, really, for false flag operations in the next few weeks, or days even.
All right. British journalist and broadcaster Neil Clark. Neil, thank you very much indeed for your for sharing your insight with us. Thank you very much. We appreciate it.